I'd like to introduce Paresh Ghelani, who is just such a distinguished water expert globally. And myself, I'm David Stuckenberg. I'm the co-founder and COO at Genesis Systems. We're going to take you into a few minutes of time and a lifetime of knowledge, because Paresh, you have just finished an extraordinary fact-finding trip worldwide on water and what the future shape of water looks like. And I was hoping you could tell us first briefly, just a couple minutes about yourself, and then go into your fact-finding trip.
All right. Hey, David, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Water, I mentioned water is a great part of my life for a while. Goes back to 2008. How I got involved as this entrepreneur. My journey has led me to obviously solving challenges. Throughout the life you experience, and a lot of the challenges you face yourself, and eventually you want to build your resources enough so you can actually go out and see if we can solve those challenges. And journey led me to this amazing organization foundation called XPRIZE, which I was invited to join, and then now I'm part of the board and the Vision Circle board, which kind of addresses global challenges. And then I always had an hunger for solving the water issues, because water is probably one of the most underrated, as we all know, biggest challenge we are facing that we're not talking about as much, but we should be, because time is running out. In a sense, water is going to be a real issue. So for me, it's about and having sort of entrepreneurial relationships with many other entrepreneurs and thinking the mindset and stuff. If we actually challenge ourselves to figure out the water issue collectively, I think there's definitely a great hope. So that's my journey, has been in the water space. Obviously, I do a lot of other technologies, and I love disruptive technologies. I don't like to say take a status quo. I don't like it, because there shouldn't be. We should not be thinking linear to marginal improvement. We should really challenge any status quo and say, let's do something so drastically different that nobody's done it, because it is a very incredible problem that we're facing for water, and we need incredible solutions. So that's the only way to address this. So I don't want to get into, all right, let's go set up another municipal plant and let's do chlorination water calculations and things of that sort. No, we need to look beyond. We need to look beyond very destructive tech, because it's going to require to do so. So that's been a journey, and throughout the journey, I've learned that, and particularly last about a month or so, I was traveling in the Middle East, and part of the world that actually is dire for water, and there's always been a dire need for it. But now it's actually getting a little bit worse, because population is growing in those areas, the demand is, and obviously climate is changing, so on and so forth. Where do you find water is the human right, in my opinion, right? As you always say, water is a human right for everybody should actually have. In my journey, just safe drinking water was an issue, right? So that has led me to do a lot of initiative within to say, can we provide a safe drinking water? So that's one of the issues. So if you look at around the world, water has many problems. Some part of the world actually don't have safe drinking water. Some people actually don't have water to actually do irrigation, so farmers will suffer. Some people actually don't have water at all. Access to water is one thing, and actually having a water, not able to use it, and treating the water is a different. So there's multiple issues around the world that we need to solve. And one being the most dire is just access to water, and safe drinking water, or safe usable water, potable water. That's a definitely dire need. And some of the parts of the world that I saw, yeah, there are a lot of technology we're going, it's obviously simple purification water, cleaning the water if you have access to water. As we all know, we barely tap into 0.2% of the water of the world. How do you actually use the water? We're not able to do it. We're not tapping enough. But all regions are not fortunate to actually have rivers or lakes, right? They got no water. They may have ocean. Well, that desalination, well, that has its own challenges, right? We're not most efficient, as you know. And even if you do the region who actually has an ocean, there are a lot of places in the world don't have anything, literally. And we actually polluting it, and using it. So we're burning the stick on both ends, right? We're using it way more, including groundwater. So how do you do that? Access to water, cleaning the water. Some of the regions that I found out, they have ocean, but where the main civilization, largest population, for example, Jordan, if you take it, They actually have, Amman is the largest city, about 4 million, after 10 million right there, 40 to 45% population lives in the one city. Well, they have ocean on the other end of the entire country. You can't run the pipe, even if you have a desalination program. So how do they solve the water problem where they live, actually, right?
Because the majority of the population's inland.
They don't got, you know, freshwater lakes or river running through it. You know, they have potholes here and stuff, some groundwater, but eventually they're going to have to think about some of their solution, which is effective. And so there are many parts of the world are like this, right? That comes to mind that, you know, atmospheric water, which is the largest reservoir of the world, which is the atmospheric water, right? So that's another exciting technology. So it has atmospheric water can solve problems that many other water cannot. Then you actually also have some technology to find out. We're working at chlorination, which is about 100+ years old technology. We're still using it. Can we do something to find a better solution to treat the water, coagulate the water, filter the water, and actually reuse the water? Water potentially can be used 7-8 times over, right? You know, in the same water. So those are the various things we looked at. As some parts of the region actually has a lot of money, right? They can just go to the ocean and just do the desalination. It doesn't matter what the cost is. They can use it. Fine, they're rich, but there are parts of the country or the world don't have those solutions.
The world, in terms of inland areas or areas that are more economically bound, there has to be other things explored outside of desal. And so you had shared a number with me a while back in terms of how much water is contained in the reservoir of the air. And this was part of the fact finding for, I believe it was XPRIZE, but do you remember what that was?
Yeah, so an atmosphere actually has probably about 82 times more water in most atmosphere than all rivers combined, which is a very, very incredible large number, right? So if you really think about it, there's plenty of water, and we don't have to worry about it that you can pull enough atmosphere water around, it's going to disrupt the atmosphere or not. No, the world is extremely well balanced, and the moment you pull out any water or moisture out, that's how the nature does it, it actually will replenish itself by pressure and temperature and so on and so forth from ocean. So it will remain constant. So if it actually you take out too much of water from atmosphere, it will already replenish it from the ocean and will maintain that particular, so you're not going to damage anything, or not going to extract anything more than anything, from atmosphere. So we have this large reservoir, which almost exists everywhere in the world. 65% of the world has 35% or more, somewhat an average, humidity plus more, right? So you have plenty of water up in the air. Can we do something, to actually extract that water at efficient level? And can we do that? That was our journey in fact finding. It was an incredible journey. And then, initially almost felt like it's impossible to do. You're going against the physics side. But guess what? When you put the brightest and challenge entrepreneurs, humankind, they solve it. And David, I applaud you for taking the journey and what you're doing, and Genesis is doing. And that's what excited me to, partner with, to say, whatever you're doing, I want to be part of it, because I truly believe atmospheric water is one of the 3 solutions we require. And this will have one of the highest impact of water providing to a certain part of the communities in the world, which then will be either war threatened, or health will be threatened, or actually the peace will be threatened. But if you solve this water, we're avoiding the war, avoiding the ill health, avoiding catastrophe. So it's a very, very important. I truly am very passionate about atmospheric water, because that actually solves a very unique and very, very impactful regions and people and technologies. Yeah.
The federated aspect is important, and as you say, it makes impossible possible in terms of access. So with that, I really appreciate your time today, and I know that there's a lot of demand on you, and you're a solutions guy and a global leader. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I want to actually hear about. I know you're going to participate in the UN Water Conference, which hasn't had it for many years, and then you're preparing for it. I'm very excited, to hear all about the entire conference and about what you've been talking about, what you're preparing for, because it's obviously very exciting. It's a very big stage. Finally, UN and the world is actually waking up to saying, of course, they always have a lot, sort of talked about it, but nobody's really taking it that seriously as much as we're taking as CO2s and other things seriously. Water is equally, if not more, in alarming phase. So I would love to hear about what you're preparing and what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Genesis was accepted as a UN accredited organization for the 2023 water conference.
Congrats.
If my math is right, I think it's been about 40 years, because the conference takes place next year, since they've had a conference on water, where we bring together the communities of the world to discuss this important topic. In particular, these were the preparatory meetings, and Genesis was engaged in almost all of them, really with an objective to get people thinking about more than just understanding that we have this problem and we're slugging it out, trying to figure out what the solutions are, but to try to bring more thinking along the lines of what you just said. So we're very well aligned, and that is to recognize, please, as an international body, that the water contained in the air is a reservoir of hope for humanity. And that reservoir needs to be part of the strategy going forward. So what we proposed during all the conferences that we took part in, and a lot of what they call, it's dialogue, if you will, but the meetings where we hammer out ideas and say, okay, what will become the main topics for the 2023 conference? So out of that, Genesis proposed, and there were others who were with us, but a central theme that we raised again and again was, listen, we need to please consider this body of water that is contained in the air as part of the solution. And to do that, innovation must be a key theme of the 2023 water conference. And so after several days of the engagements, we had a chance as a company to represent this idea to the UN General Assembly. 190 nations were present. So one of the planks for the discussion, 5 discussion areas, will be part of the 2023 conference for the UN Water Conference under SDG 6. And one of those is water innovation in both existing and old systems. So we know that that's going to be a key feature. And what that means is that there has to be a coming together between the innovators and the communities, which have been long established in doing the way that their business has always been done. But it's now, there has to be a quickening of that cooperation. And we know that humans can't go more than 3 days without water, and how quickly a society can collapse in terms of economic and all of the other features that are reliant on water. So we felt it was a very useful time. It was time well spent.
Right. I mean, David, congratulations to you. Running a company itself, as an entrepreneur, I know it's actually hard enough and very, very demanding. And actually participating at the world stage and actually spreading the word awareness and actually about the dire need for actually doing something, which is an additional time to it. But I commend you for it. And then I'm glad that UN is actually taking it a little more seriously about the water issue. As we all know, people say war is going to be fought over water. No, it's already being, it's happening at the state and smaller level. Governments, having policy. It is a national security issue. Currently, they're small. It's going to brew. There are many fights and many deaths actually already happened in the fights over water. The highest impact, I truly believe, is the atmospheric water, a long-lasting solution. Which I'm very exciting, to be part of the Genesis journey and wanted to see grow and just, and then obviously, in my opinion, nobody better to lead than you are, David. I'm absolutely love your execution. I love what you do. And passion for it.
I really appreciate that. We won't give up.
And 4 years ago, I think now we spoke about the very first time, and your passion to actually solve more than monetizing. You are solving a humanity problem, and I think your passion to solve that resolve, which I believe something that is motivates me as well. So I'm humbled by to be part of it.
Thank you. Well, we thank you for your support. Thank you for your ongoing activism for water, for being a water hero, and I hope that we can continue to go through our incredible ownership and just continue this teamwork that we are doing.
I'm in. I'm fully in. All the way through, my friend. We're going to see it through the and then we're going to see this thing proliferated everywhere.
The sky has always reflected humanity's vision. Whether we see the shape of things to come in a cloud or cast our gaze over the horizon, we look skyward to look forward. And when we look for life in the universe, we first search for water. The same is true on Earth. Only the water under our sky is running out. Today, aquifers are depleting, lakes are drying up, rivers are running dry, and groundwater is being depleted. Humanity's water supplies are vanishing. Water is life. It's required to make all products and materials. Whether a cell phone in your pocket that takes 3,100 gallons to make, or the car you drive that takes 17,000 gallons to make, every useful tool has a water footprint. The human, economic, social, and ecological cost of water scarcity today is incalculable. Together, we must change course before scarcity becomes collapse. At the end of these realities is the challenge that drives Genesis Systems. How can we sustainably solve water scarcity? Genesis Systems is privileged to begin answering this question now. Introducing watercube. Watercube is an achievement in science, engineering, and design brought to the world through an unwavering connection to humanity, innovation, and persistence. Delivering more than 1,000 gallons per day or 2,000 liters of production at 60% humidity and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, watercube can deliver fresh water from the air at humidities as low as 10% and delivers higher output up to 2,000 gallons or 4,000 liters a day in higher humidities. No system can deliver the performance and ease of operation and maintenance while delivering the reliability demanded by unlocking a brand new dimension in our water supply. The watercube is formatted in transportable ISO-compliant containers and features durable construction that delivers performance for a 20-year design life. Watercube's onboard control systems are intuitive, resilient, and smart. Systems can be controlled manually by touchscreen or from a cloud-based kiosk. Watercube is about democracy. Like the microchip, Watercube gives you the ability to take charge of an important element of your life, your water supply. Designed with a love for humanity and 50 years equivalent engineering and scientific rigor, Watercube shatters old world paradigms and produces fresh water where and when needed most. Watercube meets or exceeds EPA standards to deliver virgin fresh water that has never touched the ground. By moving ambient air through Watercube, water vapor is harvested and converted to water at an efficiency never before possible. Watercube produces efficient mass water well below 1 kilowatt hour of energy per gallon. The system can be powered by solar energy, wind, geothermal, or traditional electric power, including portable power systems. Later models will have increased power performance that can make Watercube an all but passive water production system, requiring very low amounts of energy. Watercube tracks thousands of data points in near real time, including environmental conditions, operational status, component irregularities, and water production, quality, and efficiency. The system's machine learning and business logic enables it to communicate smart data that drives even greater production and efficiency, making Watercube not only the best on the planet, but ever improving. Built from the ground up with security at the forefront of design, Watercube features intrusion detection and end-to-end encryption as it aggregates data in a cloud environment built to military specifications. Watercube can be configured with a wide range of customizations, incorporating sensible best practices borrowed from aerospace and medicine. Consumers have the option to equip systems with quality monitoring, self-diagnostics, predictive maintenance analytics, security monitoring, and additive manufacturing for weight and size reduction. Standard safety features include water quality monitors, electrical cutoffs, durable locks, and food-grade construction. And every Watercube includes a factory warranty extendable to 5 years to give you peace of mind. Our journey of incorporating sustainability into Watercube's design has not been easy, but it has been intelligent and determined. On this point, we would like to reveal one more thing. Watercube does more than just make water. In a first-ever technological advancement, Genesis Systems is pleased to introduce the ability to produce sustainable mass water while simultaneously reducing CO2 emissions. Watercube systems are the first patented water generators on Earth to incorporate carbon capture technology while producing mass fresh water. Our vision is that one day all water cubes will be carbon neutral or even carbon negative, and we look forward to making this feature available soon. That's where we are going. Genesis is on a quest to produce products that deliver smart and unmatched performance, a quest to provide geographically unconstrained, low-cost fresh water anywhere on Earth. Imagine a world without water scarcity. Embrace a better future. Welcome to the future of sustainable water. Welcome to WaterCube.